The World Cup is the most emotional and breathtaking tournament in football history, and today we are going to go over 5 of the craziest games and learn how the players and coaches go through the most emotional times of their careers. In the 2014 World Cup final, it was Argentina versus Germany. Messi was one match away from claiming the trophy. It went into overtime after Higuain's brilliant missed chance.
Messi, Higuain! Flags up! Flags up! Oh, this will be tight. It is absolutely right.
But in extra time, Mario Götze, a German midfielder, swirled his body and scored one of the most famous goals ever.
Aimed in for Götze! And Germany are the champions of the world.
But in the 2010 quarterfinal, Uruguay ended Ghana's hopes of winning the World Cup. The match was high intensity as both Ghana and Uruguay scored a goal in the first 90 minutes of the match. The game went into overtime, and in the 120th minute of the break of the last kick of the match, Ghana was awarded a penalty. Luis Suarez used his hands to deliberately make the goal-lining save to keep Uruguay's hopes alive. He got sent off the pitch and Ghana was awarded a penalty, but somehow missed the net.
To send Ghana into the semi-finals of the World Cup. And he hits the bar!
Suarez celebrated and Uruguay dominated on penalties. If Luis Suarez didn't save the ball off the line, Ghana would have gone through and Uruguay would have been knocked out. The rivalry between these two sides has gotten toxic over the years, but in the France versus Italy final in 2006, France was awarded a penalty for basically a dive in the first play of the game, something that VAR would probably take back.
Not sure there was significant contact.
Italy scored off a corner and the game went into overtime.
How quickly the emotions change.
And while Zidane, arguably France's best midfielder of all time, headed the guy in the middle of the field, getting a red card and leaving the pitch.
Oh my word, that is extraordinary.
Italy won 5-3 on penalties and France lost the match. As my former coach always said, penalties are the greatest way to win, but the worst way to lose. The spot kicks ended France's dreams, but it only got worse in the Netherlands versus Spain match in 2010, one of the most entertaining tournaments in history. The Dutch versus the Spanish. Arjen Robben had one of the biggest chances in the match, but failed to score against Casillas. Spain dominated the game more, as Barcelona legend Iniesta scored the goal of his life.
Now it's Iniesta! This is it! That's the goal! Spain have surely won the world!
It was a sad day for the Dutch as they went home empty-handed. And although the 2010 final was passionate, nothing speaks worse than the most famous Brazilian beatdown in 2014. Germany, the winner of the 2014 World Cup, played Brazil in the semi-final and literally tore them apart.
Brazil in real trouble! They're in dire trouble now! We have a World Cup record!
It was Brazil's worst World Cup match, but what made the game even more dreadful for the South American side was that the 2014 World Cup was hosted in Brazil.
Where was the Brazilian defense?
The kings of the World Cup getting slaughtered in their own country.
It's a disaster. The little boy is crying his eyes out.
The game ended 7-1, which sits at the most emotional World Cup game in history.
The Brazilians are in disbelief. It's all over.
A shocking moment for Brazil and a devastating result for every fan around the world.
Germany 5 square 6-0 it is. This equals the heaviest defeat in Brazilian history. Oscar, he's got a goal, and I have never seen a goal less celebrated in my life.
Today, the World Cup has been exciting, eventful, and most of all, emotional. I can't wait to see who wins. I thought I had Brazil and Portugal facing off each other in the World Cup final, but clearly I was wrong. But if you want to know other people's thoughts on the World Cup, in my last video I asked Americans the most controversial football questions. Do you think Mbappe looks like a turtle?
Yeah, because he does.